Hello and welcome to the episode 203 of What a Fab Day. I am your host, Simon Mas. Today, we have the start of a short residency, a visit to Greece, and 2 recording sessions. On the 22nd of July 1961, the Beatles, with Pete Best on drums, performed at the Holyoake Hall in Liverpool, the second time in a week. 1 year later, in 1962, the same lineup of the band performed an evening concert at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. In 1963, the Beatles, now with Ringo Starr on drums, played the first of 6 consecutive nights at the Odeon Cinema in Weston-super-Mare, Somerset. On the 22nd of July 1967, John, Cynthia and Julian Lennon, Paul McCartney, Jane Asher, Beatles assistant Mal Evans, Paula Boyd, sister of George's wife Patty, and Nemsi's Alistair Taylor arrived in Greece to join George, Ringo and the rest of the party that arrived there on the 20th of July. The plan was to look around to find some real estate the Beatles could buy to move there their lives and businesses. Check out episode 200 of this podcast for more on the birth of the concept, but the idea was to form a kind of a commune where the band, their staff and friends could live together without interferences from the outside world, finally able to do as they pleased. Later on, Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney commented that it was either a daft plan or a drug-induced fantasy, and it's hard to deny that a summer during which the Rolling Stones had been harassed by the police and arrested on drug charges had nothing to do about the whole thing. On the other hand, there was something more to this. In less than 6 months, the Beatles moved to India to study transcendental meditation, as we've seen in episode 46 of this podcast. George had long voiced his annoyance with the need of hiding away in the days of Beatlemania, and the rest of the Beatles soon shared this opinion. It might just be that this crazy idea of moving to Greece was just another extreme manifestation of this annoyance, of the desire of finding and doing something more, something that could bring more meaning to their lives. Would it be too embarrassing to ask you to do something more and share this episode on your social media? Oh, and please visit www.simonmas.com/support too. As you know, I'm trying to grow a community of like-minded music lovers here, and I will use any chance I can to remind you to be fab and give me any help you can. Thank you! On the 22nd of July 1968, the Beatles were at the EMI studios between 10 p.m. and 1:40 a.m. to complete the 2 pieces sung by Ringo Starr on the White Album. Ringo's own Don't Pass Me By was completed at the beginning of the session with a piano introduction. Then, everyone moved to Studio One to accommodate the 26 musicians needed to record the arrangement for Good Night that producer George Martin had written for £36, about £630 in 2020 money. The name of the musicians taking part have been lost, but the orchestra included 12 violins, 3 violas, 3 cellos, 1 harp, 3 flutes, 1 clarinet, 1 horn, 1 vibraphone and 1 double bass. A celeste and a piano were also booked for the session. The work previously done on the track served as a guide to the orchestra, and 12 new rhythm takes were put on tape. When this was done, 8 of the Mike Summer singers recorded vocal overdubs. The singers were Ingrid Thomas, Pat Whitmore, Van Stockwell, Irene King, Ross Gilmore, Mike Redway, Ken Barry, and Fred Lucas. Then, finally, Ringo overdubbed his vocals, with more background vocals by the Summer singers recorded live with him. The session also produced an instrumental introduction for Don't Pass Me By, called A Beginning. The piece was never used and resurfaced in 1996 in the Anthology 3 album. In 1969, between 2:30 and 9:30 p.m., the Beatles were at the EMI studios. Paul attempted to record the vocals of "Oh Darling" for a third time, again failing to get a result he deemed satisfying. After that, the whole band worked on "Come Together", recording lead vocals, electric piano, rhythm guitar and maracas on the rhythm track. There is some debate on who actually played the electric piano. The booklet coming with the deluxe edition of the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road states it was Paul McCartney. Session engineer Jeff Emerick, instead, is on record in interviews stating that while McCartney came up with the piano part, it was actually John Lennon to perform it during the session. And with this, we can close today's show. Tomorrow we'll get a bit more work on "Come Together" and a lot more stories about the four you love. For the moment, I wish you a good day and a fab continuation. Simon Mas, music you love.